Hey everybody, this is Laney, and welcome back to History Highlights with Laney. Hope you all are well. Fam, let me know where you all are from in the comments below if you're in the United States or outside of the United States. In this video, I will be talking about surgeon Dinee Simpson. Chicago has one female African-American organ transplant surgeon. She fights disease and distrust of doctors. When transplant surgeon Dinee Simpson sits in a consultation room with a patient, often they're joined by the patient's spouse, children, or both. Sometimes a meeting includes a patient's cousin or siblings or friends, anyone who will weave together the fabric of support that patient will rely on when he or she receives a new kidney or liver or pancreas. And sometimes, particularly if the patient is Black, more than a century of mistrust of the medical community also joins them in the room. I've had patients tell me they know transplant is experimental. I've had patients tell me they know white people get preference when it comes to time on the waiting list. Neither is true. Patients are very frank with me and telling me they know things are unfair or experimental, and they are the hardest ones to convince otherwise. Those are some of the heartbreaking cases for me. In some families, a deeply ingrained sense of betrayal passed down through generations can permeate doctor visits. It is a product of medical experiments widely performed on slaves in mid-1800s, a product of the 40-year Tuskegee syphilis experiment begun in 1932 that denied hundreds of Black men a proper diagnosis or treatment for a debilitating disease. Simpson understands that in her bones, even as she tries everything in her power to alleviate the sense of betrayal to help patients leave it in the past. Simpson, 40, is Northwestern Medical Hospital first female African-American transplant surgeon. She is the only Black female organ transplant surgeon in Chicago. I'm here to serve everybody, she said, but there's a Pacific population that I feel has a disadvantage because of the social issues, because of genetics, and because of a lot of reasons. They need assistance, and I recognize that I can provide some of that assistance just by the way I look. She's Black. I've had patients cry, she said. I've had patients hug me. The reason was simply because I looked like them. When she worked as a surgical resident at Boston's Brigham and Women's Hospital, she observed a living donor kidney transplant on her first day. That sold me, she said. Later that day, we did a kidney evaluation clinic and saw 6 patients. All 6 were African Americans. That blew me away. Chronic liver disease and cirrhosis are among the leading cause of death in African Americans between 45 and 64 years old, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The first African American transplant clinic in the U.S. opened in 2019 in Chicago. Only 26% of African American patients needing a transplant receives an organ, but for white patients, it's almost double, with 48% of them receiving transplants. Data shows Blacks are less likely to get referred and less likely to get on the list, and therefore transplanted, according to Dr. Simpson. Dr. Simpson is one of only 10 Black female transplant organs practicing in the United States. After seeing the disparity, she started the one and only program in the country that helps African Americans receive organs. Barriers like a lack of access to pharmacies, healthy food, and specialty clinics. A ride to the clinic is a barrier as well, because if you can't get a ride to the clinic, you can't get to the clinic. Since the program started 3 years ago at Northwestern, there have been an 18% increase in Black patients listed on the transplant list. Dr. Simpson has opened a new clinic on Chicago's South Side, giving hope to African Americans. Dr. Simpson and her team are committed to giving all patients a fair shot. So there you have a little bit of history on Dr. Dinee Simpson out of Chicago, Illinois. We salute you. Be well, stay safe, and stay in peace, not pieces. Hit that bell so you will know every time I upload a video. Word of the year, peace. Peace. Deuces.